Let's have a look at some of the details about the certification body requirements. What are the certification body requirements? There's a guaranteed application of the ISO 17021 principles and certification process that's critical to the high standards adopted through the certification program. There's also an EXCiPACT structured verification, which is compliant with the certification body quality system definition and qualification processes. And there are quality competences established and evaluated during the EXCiPACT qualification of the certification bodies. We also detail some basic content into the certificate, although the style, layout, and format of the audit reports are up to the individual certification bodies. There are continuous annual independent audits and performance reviews which have been applied by the certification body as a result by ISO 17021. The systems that the certification bodies adopt are very similar to ISO 9001. They have their own quality management systems in this regard. The certification bodies can only use EXCiPACT registered auditors, and they have an independent certification board that makes the final decision on the supplier certification. The auditor does not have the authority to issue a certificate because that's not the way that ISO systems work. There's always a second check, and they have to perform audits in accordance with the ISO 17021-1 2015 standard and then use EXCiPACT, GMP, and GDP standards. Here you can see the current EXCiPACT registered certification bodies: SGS, CertiQuality, DQS, Bureau Veritas, ANENOR, and AGA Europe. Many of these organizations have a global presence and are able to perform audits internationally. Some are national or regional in their scope. All these certification bodies are highly proficient and widely recognized. Thanks to them, EXCiPACT can reach most excipient suppliers around the world. What about the all-important and critical auditor's competency? Well, we want to guarantee that the EXCiPACT auditors are every bit as good as your own pharmaceutical supplier auditors. They have to demonstrate competence to access these suppliers. They have to know and understand excipient manufacturing supply knowledge. They need to know the pharmaceutical industry regulations, in particular principles of champion GDP. And they have to be experienced in auditing, particularly chemical manufacturers and distributors. They've got to avoid conflicts of interest. They are not allowed to provide a consultancy in the last 2 years to any organization that they then go and audit. They had to attend the 2-day EXCiPACT training course, take and pass the test. Their first EXCiPACT audit has to be performed with an experienced auditor to make sure that they implement all their learning. These witnessed audits are also a standard ISO requirement. Every 3 years, their continuous professional development is examined to reassess them and renovate their EXCiPACT auditor's registration. If you have questions, visit www.excipact.org.